Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be making what I think is the king of all cocktails, the Martini. Now, the origins of this cocktail are pretty mysterious, but many people believe it was invented in San Francisco back in the 1860s, and it was named after the nearby town of Martinez. Regardless of who's right when it comes to the origins, one thing is certain. A real Martini is made with gin and dry French vermouth. Many people make it with vodka nowadays, but I really encourage you to try it with gin. After all, gin is essentially vodka, with herbs and juniper added. They're made from the same grains and the same process, so give the real stuff a try. And the other very important ingredient is vermouth. Now, vermouth is an aromatic wine. There is sweet Italian vermouth, and there's also dry French vermouth. The biggest debate that goes on about martinis isn't about what goes in one, but rather the proportions of each ingredient. When this drink was invented about 150 years ago, it was pretty common to see 2 parts gin to 1 part sweet vermouth. That made a really sweet drink. As time went by, the drink kept getting drier and drier, up to the point where some people say the perfect ratio is to pour a nice cold glass of gin while looking at a bottle of vermouth. Now that's a little too dry for my taste. My method is pretty dry, but definitely not that dry. So let's make one. Fill the large part of your Boston shaker with about a cup of ice. Now, ice is a very important ingredient when it comes to cocktails. If the ice from your freezer doesn't taste too good, don't use it. You can just make your own ice cubes using bottled water or filtered water. Then we pour half a pony, which is half an ounce, of dry vermouth. And we pour 2.5 ounces of gin, which is 1 jigger and 1 pony. Then we stir the drink. I prefer stirring because shaking chills a drink way more than stirring does. And you gotta remember, gin is an aromatic, and it starts to lose some of its aromatic qualities once it falls below 30 degrees. Now, it's very important to have a chilled glass. You can keep some of these in the freezer, or you can just do what I did and just fill it up with some ice before you start mixing. So we're just gonna dump this ice out, and then we place an olive in the glass. I like to put that olive in first, that way a little bit of that brine can blend in with the martini. Then we use our julep strainer, and we pour the martini. And there you have it, a beautifully made martini. Now, it's important to be familiar with a few terms that are commonly used when it comes to martinis. For example, if we replace the green olive with a black olive, we would then have a buckeye. A cocktail onion would make it a Gibson. A shot of scotch would make it a smoky martini. And a few drops of brine from that olive jar would give you a dirty martini. Talking about martinis, Frederick Henry once said in Hemingway's Farewell to Arms, "I had never tasted anything so cool and clean. They made me feel civilized." Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers! Technically speaking, though, a cocktail is composed of 3 parts: a base, a modifier, and an accent. A base is usually a spirit, like whiskey, tequila, vodka, or gin.